And now the city of Heidelberg, Germany, has been a leader in climate protection for over 2 decades. Here to discuss it is the mayor of Heidelberg, Professor Dr. ECKART WÜRZNER. Mayor WÜRZNER, thank you for joining us and welcome to the show. I'd like to talk about the city of Heidelberg. 26 years ago, in 1992, the Municipal Council of the city of Heidelberg adopted the first climate protection concept. Aside from obviously being ahead of its time, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, already at that time, we decided to start with totally a strategy for the whole city, how we can combat global climate on the local level. Our leading mission was Rio is talking, Heidelberg is acting. It's still the same today when we're talking about Katowice or what's going on an international level. We wanted to take over a leading role. We wanted to show that if you take the responsibility as a city leader, as a citizen, you can change a lot.
Now, how does this rational use of energy, as you refer to it, how does that program translate to modern Heidelberg?
I think you need really a comprehensive strategy. So first of all, we invited all the stakeholders, the industry, the Chamber of Commerce, the citizens, our own energy utility. What can you do? How we can change our lifestyle? How we can change to a more energy productive lifestyle with renewable energies instead of coal, instead of oil industry. And through this strategy, which we had discussed with the citizens over nearly 1.5 years, we get a clear message what we have to do. Every second year, we send a biannual report to the City Council to show our results. And through all this time, we really achieved a lot of big points in how to reduce CO2 emissions. For example, starting with your own buildings. We reduced for all citizen buildings, so kindergartens, school, administration buildings, more than 50% of the energy demand. So today, we need less than 50% of the energy we need 20 years ago. Or we start awareness campaigns in schools, in kindergartens. We give benefits back to the school kids. So if they run energy prompts and energy activities, sometimes they're called energy eagles or whatever, we give them the money back which they save, and this is quite a lot. Think about just a primary school needs about 150,000 euro per year to be served with energy, but still get just 20,000 euro for books and computers. So if you change the whole system, you give the school back the money for what they needed, for books, for better education, for computers and so on, and not for stupid wasting energy.
Now, Mayor, I understand that Heidelberg has created an energy agency to oversee this. Can you tell us what that does?
Yeah, after we have run all these programs for the city-owned structures, for the kindergartens where we have a direct link, we started an awareness campaigns for the citizens. So what can you do? How can you refurbish your private house? We give you a subsidy, so use the subsidy to start better insulation, a retrofitting program to reduce the energy demand of the buildings. And to get the link to the citizens, we installed what we call an energy agency. So you get free of charge advice how to do this, where the money is coming from, how much money you have to invest, and what is the effect on climate change. So a direct link to the citizens, free of charge, served by the city. And this is a big support program for the citizens, and it's a big success story. Today, we serve an area of more than 750,000 people, so we are heading to 1 million people which are integrated into this program by the energy agency. Second part is we work together with industry companies. So through the last years, we created a network of more than 100 companies working very closely together. We give them free advice what a company can do to reduce the energy demand and also integrate a better waste management. And by doing so, they noticed, hey, I earn a lot of more money and I have a perfect balance if I see my CO2 footprint. So a lot of these activities have been started in Heidelberg.
Now, the theme of our show this year is health, and I'm curious, do you see a correlation in the climate crisis and the health of your people? Are you having to adapt in ways that you previously didn't anticipate?
How we anticipate the citizens into this cycle is always very important. So what we always say is, without a dialogue, that's the reason why we said we are a city of a dialogue. Without this dialogue directly to the citizens, you can't support them, you can't help them. If you have poor people, they don't have to pay, they're not charged if they have no money anymore to get electricity. Of course, this is not CO2 friendly, but this is a social question. On the other hand, we try to get the money from the city council to start these retrofitting programs and to install all these programs. And by doing so, we change a lot of the systems. We use our energy utility, which is owned by the city, to switch to 100% green energy. We installed new power plants. We just built for 22 million euro a new power plant based on renewables. We change our heat system, so the whole downtown area is served by a long distance heating network, which becomes more and more served by renewable energies. So there are no chimneys in the downtown area. That is very perfect for clean air in downtown. And on the other hand, you can earn the money you need as an energy utility, because energy is always a big cash machine, I say. So if you use this cash machine to change it into a renewable developing utility, you can have both economic growth and a more environmental friendly society.
Mayor, what is your strategy for reducing emissions from automobiles and trucks?
This is the most complicated situation. Yesterday I was together with the German Chancellor, Mrs. Merkel, and we discussed what should be the European standard for CO2 emissions of cars, because this is the most relevant factor. So at the moment we are talking about 120, 95 gram per kilometer CO2 for the year 2020, or for the year 2025, 56, which can be an extraordinary competition to reach this goal, but you can do this, and if you do, you have a big impact. On the other hand, we change our whole mobility system into an environmental friendly mobility system. In Heidelberg, nearly the same numbers of bicycle drivers are on the road like in Copenhagen, so that's nearly 40% of the commuters are coming by bicycle. Some are coming by foot, but the rest, the big number, is coming by mass transport system, by our buses and trams. And this is very effective, and we expand the system every year. At the moment, we have a 160 million euro program.
Mayor, you've been mayor of Heidelberg since 2006. How have your personal views about managing a city changed since the climate crisis has evolved?
I think at the beginning, it was at that time in Germany, everybody was talking about Waldsterben and climate change 20 years ago. So there was a big movement also in the media. I was invited by the Center for Clean Air Policy in Washington to make a study for American cities, what they can do 25 years ago. Today, it's more shifting to a political movement, which is good, but you need really an engagement of everybody. So also the media must get attention to this topic. And this is the case at the moment. I'm very happy that I'm now for 12 years mayor of this wonderful city. And through this time, I worked together with my European colleagues. I'm now the president of a European Association of Cities. And together with Bloomberg and the C40 cities, we're working now for 8 years together. We are running programs, what the role of cities can be in the future. And I think this is a very big movement at the moment. We get a decision of more than 9,000 cities signed the Covenant of Mayors, so a self-commitment to become CO2-free city through an engaged strategy plan. We call it a sustainable energy plan implementation. and having lots of meetings how we can do this. Last meeting was in San Francisco with London Reed, the mayor of London, of San Francisco. 4 weeks ago, I was in Los Angeles talking with my colleagues about what Los Angeles can do against climate change, thinking about the water problem. Desalting needs a lot of energy, but it's absolutely necessary because the area is totally dried out beside the fires. And all this is coming now so that we have to build a global network of cities working together when the national leaders are not going in front, which is not the case at the moment in the United States, and also not the case, for example, in Poland, where at the moment is in Katowice the UN conference. So cities have to take over lead, and that's where the citizens forcing us to go, especially in university towns like Heidelberg, where you have very high intellectual potential of people. And I think we can show a good way into the future. At the moment, we are building a new city area. I think it's globally the biggest 100% CO2-free city with best technology, which is available. You just have to implement it.
Thank you very much. The mayor of Heidelberg, Germany, Dr. ECKART WÜRZNER, thank you for joining us on 24 Hours of Reality.